This weekend was the World Championship of Disney Lorcana, and in addition to lots of really fun gameplay, we also got details for Lorcana's second year of competitive events.
O que também inclui o Brasil.
Let's check them out.
Let's do it.
What's up, Illumineers? It's Charlie and Matthias. It's been a while since Matthias has been here on the channel.
I'm still alive, trust me.
He is still alive. And yeah, we got so much news, so many different things to cover about the competitive scene for Disney Lorcana. So let's kick it off. And we're going to be looking at the format that's going to be used for the Season 2 of Disney Lorcana. And good news for some people, they are going to be retiring the best of 2 format and instead reverting back to best of 3 for those main events.
2-game format no longer, and then best of 3 format. Yes.
Exactly. So as you can see on the screen, the way the formats for the Disney Lorcana challenges are going to be working, at least in North America and Europe. Obviously, different markets have different ways of organizing things. But in North America and Europe, it's going to be day 1 of Swiss. So there'll be 8 rounds of Swiss in using the best of 3 format. And then day 2, there'll be 4 more rounds of Swiss, also using best of 3, before going on to Top Cut, which will be top 32. Also best of 3, and then the finals will be best of 5. So it's the way I'm reading this is that it's going to be 12 rounds for everyone who wants to stick around in the tournament to that point, and then it'll be going toward the Top Cut. So it's going to be a lot more rounds of Lorcana. I know something a lot of competitive players have been requesting.
Oh, so day 2 Swiss, it does not mean that you have to have passed day 1? You're just saying that they are split across 2 days.
That's how I read it. It's like there's just 4 more rounds of Swiss, because obviously trying to do 12 rounds of Swiss in a single day when it's best of 3 with a 55-minute time limit is going to be too much. So it just means a lot more Lorcana before cutting to Top Cut. We'll have to see. I know people have already been online like doing the calculations. What does it mean if it's 1,000 players, 2,000 players, 3,000, etc., and kind of what implication that has on intentional draws, because that was always one of the biggest points of contention, I think, with the 2-game format, or the 2-game format, not best of 2-game format. So yeah, so we'll have to see what impact this has, whether people will be doing the intentional draws sooner, whether they'll be doing it or having to play more rounds.
Or even if intentional draw rules remain the same, right? They might have to adapt, but hopefully they'll keep. I mean, it's a normal thing to do, at least at that stage, right? What is interesting here is you're saying for the happiness of a lot of people. I actually was a big fan of 2-game format. Yeah. I know it's harder to calculate the points. There's a lot of negative side of that. But I personally like the less pressure sense in a way.
I tend to agree. I know a lot of kind of probably players well beyond our level of skill prefer the best of 3 because they feel like it reduces some of the kind of variance, the play draw disparity, the unknown about your opponent's decks. But yeah, I didn't really mind the 2-game format as well. It was quicker. Like I could win one, I could lose one. I didn't feel like I was getting nothing out of it. So
it didn't feel drainy, right? Which is cool. Yeah. But the good thing, at least, is with the best of 5 for the grand finals, right? It is cool. We just saw the same in the World Championship between DKP and
Edshu.
Yeah. And it was fantastic. I mean, it was super fast. I can't imagine. I mean, they did use hyper aggro after all, so it's cool to see that. So they are replicating here. I did see some comments online, people saying, again, I don't know the mathematics behind it, but they said that with this new format, it also means that you have to be succeeding a lot to be able to make a cut.
Which I think is a good thing. If these events,
it's also very sad because it means if you lose a few matches, you're probably out already.
Yeah, but I think these events are really there to test the best of the best, and
I just like participating.
I'll be curious because we know the one of the most successful things about the DLCs for season 1 was the fact that they had the prize wall and the points threshold. So that's probably going to be the incentive for the more casual players or the more mid-level players to kind of play all 12 rounds in order to grind for as many points as they can.
That's very true, and we're going to have more details on that very soon, which is what we're excited about with the prizing. But should we talk about the second format?
So yes, again, for North America and Europe, only at the moment, the Infinity Constructed format is also going to be used at some of the challenges. The Infinity Constructed format, of course, is the format where you can use all cards regardless of rotation. It's going to have its own ban list. It's going to be a really interesting one to keep an eye on. So each challenge will feature a large Infinity Constructed side event for the first 2 challenges, but challenge number 3 will actually feature an Infinity Constructed main event, replacing the core constructed main event. So if you are really excited about Infinity Constructed, then challenge number 3 is the one you're going to really want to be waiting for. And as I said, Infinity Constructed Constructor will be hosting a separate ban list.
So that means that even Hiram might come back. If
Already confirmed on stream. Yeah, Hiram and the Forza
So they're
Sphere,
not part of the ban list.
They're not for Infinity.
At least right now, that's the information.
Yeah, so if you enjoy Whole New World, if you enjoy Hiram, Infinity Constructor might be the format for you.
What is interesting, again, we're going to get into more details soon. As Charlie's saying, there are 3 challenges happening in North America, 3 challenges happening in Europe, and those are filtered down into the qualifiers, which is the championship, as it happened for season 1. But all of those are giving you the chance to get if you're the winner, right, or whatnot, get the chance to get invited to the World Championship.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is, again, if you are the type of player that you feel like your strength is actually on the Infinity format, you can embrace full on for challenge number 3 on those 2 locations. Use all your skills, and that's your chance as well to get to the World Championship without having to participate with core constructed in challenges 1 and 2. So that's super, super cool. Again, I'm more of a casual player. I do love the differentiation here. I do love the answer to the question that many of us had when rotation and the Infinity format was first introduced, right, by Ravensburger. Because what they said at that point, what the questions we had at that point was, okay, there is an Infinite format, but how prominent or important?
How much support will it receive?
Exactly, the Infinite format will receive, and here's the answer, right? Not only is running as a side event, which will probably have its own prizes, it's also a main event in one of those specific challenges. Super cool. I think that's the right approach, and I'm all for that.
I think it's really good because hopefully, if anyone checked prices after they announced the rotation on TCG Player, it really tanked as soon as they announced it, but hopefully there's going to be a bit of an uptick now because you will still be able to use all of the
biggest tournament ever is using Infinity. And who knows what World Championship will be as well. Probably not like that, but at least side events with Infinity, I could imagine going on for sure.
So those are going to be the formats for the events. Of course, as I said as well, it is North America and Europe confirmed. Japan likely are going to be using the best of 1 format, which is just how the Japanese market tend to prefer to play. Other markets might do it differently, but at least for North America and Europe.
We'll find out more very soon.
Next up, we're going to look at the pricing. Always the most exciting part for us, the most exciting part of any championship. So there is day 1 pricing. You get a Pegasus gift for Hercules, which is a participation prize.
So it's the equal to the Dragonfire.
Exactly. So this is replacing Dragonfire. They confirm Pegasus is getting a reprint, so you will be able to use him in your core constructed decks. If you win 5 rounds, so that's 5 out of the 12 rounds available, you get the Mulan alt art here, which looks really cool as well. And then for top 64, they're going to get the Simba Pride Protector. All amazing looking cards. Obviously, the focus here, they seem to have taken more on the characters themselves rather than the playability of the cards. Simba, obviously a really good card.
Pegasus as well was quite popular when it came out, right? I've got to say a few things here. First of all, Pegasus is my favorite card, so I will go to the challenge. I get a Pegasus. I'm all for that already. Another detail to look at this is there's a new design. So the actual framing of the card now has this book. I think it's the book, right?
It looks like a book,
that's probably representing everything from now on for Challenger, which is, again, fantastic, the differentiation. And what is super cool, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, for Season 1, we did not have a 5-round wins.
We did
Everything was coming at day 2. So again, yourself, as long as you do 5 out of 12, you're getting Mulan as well, which is fantastic. So I'm super happy with price distribution in
it's very, very cool.
And there's more. Should we look at the next
There are more. So for the top 32 players, they're going to be getting this Elsa Ice Maker Challenge foil promo card, replacing the, I want to say
was it the Invited to the Ball?
No, it must have been the Rapunzel Gifted with Healing foil
really?
at top 32. Okay. Top 16, the Elsa playmat, which is replacing definitely the Rapunzel playmat. Top 8 are going to be getting golden Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor promo cards. They said they had 500 of those produced, and they're still giving those away. Top 4 are going to get a foil uncommon uncut sheet of cards, which is something that had been given as prizing for the China market, Grand Prix.
I believe,
so a lot of hype around that. I think it's a very cool and unique prize that you can only get this way. It's something you can frame and put on your wall, or hopefully it has a lot of value in the secondary market. Top 2 get a full foil set, including Enchanted and Epic. And then first place get a foil, rare, uncut sheet, and Disney Lorcana trophy. And of course, those prizes are cascading. So if you get first place, if you're lucky enough to get first place, you're going to get all of those prizes underneath as well. So
what is interesting here as well, if you look at the top two again, they're talking about the Epic. Epic is the new rarity that is going to be introduced with Fable. We have a dedicated video about that, so go check it out. But what I found more interesting is the rarest rarity of fall with Fable is actually Iconic, which there are only 2 cards planned for Fable. So I'm like, why did they not give an Iconic? Is Iconic the prizes for World Championship?
Yeah,
maybe?
I wonder.
Maybe they're saving for later.
But it's actually interesting. I mean, we're assuming every set is going to have Iconic cards, but maybe they don't. Maybe that's why they're not doing it.
But they will have for Fable.
But this won't be Fabled, right? It depends when the challenge is happening. But I think I definitely think of like the prizes. We know how popular Elsa is with Disney collectors, so I think great choice of a card to be used as the prizing for this. So
it's beautiful. Again,
it's
beautiful
really,
art.
really
I think the playmat's gonna look stunning, and we have more Elsa presence in something else. So let's look at the next.
So if you're like us and you're prize wall grinders rather than ever hoping to make top 64, the prize wall pricing has been expanded. Absolutely amazing offerings this time around. So we do have now 2 foil playmats replacing the Cinderella Stout-Hearted playmat from Season 1. It's using the art from the Mulan and from the Simba. We have non-foil promo cards, so if you want to get a playset of Pegasus, Mulan, Simba, or that Elsa, you can definitely do that. I'm sure Elsa's going to be the one that sells out right away because everyone will be wanting to get their hands on that. If you want some nostalgia from the first season of competitive events, you can get the non-foil Dragonfire or the non-foil Let It Go. I think, again, Let It Go probably going to be one of those cards that gets a lot of value. Dragonfire.
And we don't have that one, right? So that's our way to get
exactly. Both of which, of these cards, they confirmed are not being reprinted, so it's going to be for your Infinity constructed events. And then there will also be a DLC hat and a pin, and both of these are not the final art, so they might look different, but I'm assuming this means that Elsa's going to be the one featured on the pin.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're hinting towards here. But as Charlie said, the text you're looking at is actually just saying the final art. So
yeah, I thought it was like saying law or something.
I thought as well. Yeah, people look up close. It looks cool already as it is. It could just say Inkborn Heroes and a little.
Yeah, but yeah, people always ask where I get the hat from, and it was from the prize wall at the past DLCs. So those are all the pricing. Let's talk about the schedule for these events because it's definitely been controversial in the community. So when it comes to North America, there are going to be 3 events, 3 challenges, and then the championship. This is down from the 6 that we saw this past season. It's also notable because for us up here in Canada, we're not getting any events. But those events are going to be in Milwaukee in October 25 to 26, Richmond January 10 to 11 next year 2026, and Indianapolis June 20 to 21st 2026. Only the weekends are listed here, but these are all 3-day events, so that is one of the really good things. I know a lot of people enjoyed having that Friday to be able to check in and also start grinding the side events, so that is still going to be the case for these events. And then
I want to add a quick addendum. So of course we're showing all the slides that were shared in the World Championship, as confirmed by the team. Disney Lorcana, they did say that there were some typos, there were some small, minor things that are missing. That's why we're highlighting again, even though it's listed as 25, 26 of October, it's actually 24, 25, 26. We're missing the Friday. This is part of this. Everything you see here, there's 3 days, at least for North America and Europe. And another thing I want to say as well is, yes, right now our information is it's all in USA, but the location for the championship hasn't been revealed.
It hasn't, that's true.
If you do think as North America, I don't think they would do that because they wouldn't do that to the Americans, I think, but they could have easily put that in Canada. And the championship is actually in Canada. I don't think that's going to happen.
That would be amazing.
Don't quote me on that, but that would be like a slap in the face of people saying Canada has no support. But
yeah, because it is an interesting one. As someone who lives in Canada, obviously we do visit America every now and again, but currently Canada does have a travel advisory saying that it's maybe not safe to visit the United States, so that's always going to be a consideration. Of course, also the cost can be quite prohibitive. Within America, flights generally are a little bit cheaper. Trying to fly from Canada to America, often very, very expensive. I was just crunching the numbers yesterday just for fun, and like a flight from Montreal to Milwaukee is $700, or we can fly to Bologna for $900. So there really isn't that much difference between flying to North America and to flying to Europe. So I mean, maybe we'll go to European challenges, maybe we'll go to some Brazilian challenges
and not only
instead.
that, right? I think I don't want to. it's a horrible comment depending on how you interpret this, right? But it's also the cities, right? I feel like if we're doing that international travel, you'd rather go to a city where you can actually do some holiday as well, right?
Yeah,
we could take the whole week off. Imagine if I was in Los Angeles or Las Vegas or
that's
whatever,
no
right?
shit to these wonderful
Not
cities
at all.
that I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
have a lot
visited.
of.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's true. Like season 1, it was Seattle, Chicago, Las Vegas. Like all of these places that have
Toronto
like
in Canada.
a very exactly Toronto especially. You should visit Toronto.
Yes.
But very touristic cities, lots to see and do. So you, especially if you're traveling like us from a different country, you can make like really a trip of it, see those places. Whereas I was looking at the TripAdvisor for what to see in Richmond, and it's like a couple of museums, so there isn't really all too much. The advantages, I think the plus sides of the events that they've chosen is, yes, they're all kind of around a very small area in the United States, but it is where the majority of the population lives. For most people, it's going to be something you can do as a road trip rather than needing to fly. But if you live on the West Coast, if you live in Canada, it's a lot more hard and more difficult to go to these events. And it's also worth saying, like, obviously Disney Lorcana has a very vibrant, a very diverse community, a lot of women, a lot of trans people, a lot of LGBTQIA plus people, and not all of them feel comfortable traveling to America for these events. So there are a lot of, I can understand the criticism. I think it's a real shame that we went from 6 events down to 3 events. Of course, we don't know the caps of these events. They may be a lot bigger because before we know the 2,000 events, the 2,000 player events were selling out right away. Perhaps we're going to see larger caps, which might alleviate some of those concerns. But
it is a tricky one because, again, nothing against the location. I think it's nice that they're embracing the East, right? It's fair. The season 1 was all West, pretty much. Not really, but I mean, there were a lot over there. I think it's more the lack of having in the other locations as well. I think that's all we're saying. We wish we had those additional ones. Some of the excuses, if I may, that we saw online is because they said those 3 locations actually have a really easy access to airports. But again, any big city has access to airports, so I don't buy it.
And it's interesting because I don't think any of those cities have a direct flight from Montreal. We always have to go via Toronto or via New York or something. So so it's not great for Canadians. Of course, a lot of non-Canadians are going to go to these events. So 2 important things to say is, yes, the championship is going to be August 28th to 30, 2026. We don't know the location, but the top 32 players from each of these challenges will qualify for that championship. And tickets for the first challenge in Milwaukee are going on sale on July 16, and it's hosted by Pastime Events this time around rather than PPG. So make of that what you will. And again, yes, that third challenge in Indianapolis is going to be Infinity constructed, in case that's your preference.
And if you don't know what it means with the championship, is from the championship you can then get invited to the awards, which is the grand final. We're gonna get more details right at the end of this, telling you how many of those invites are taking place. And just quickly before we go to the next slide, because we're gonna go through all of those, I just want to highlight, so in total there are 18 challenges planned. When I say challenges, I'm not talking about the championship. I'm talking about opportunities to go to the championship, and then finally opportunity to go to the award championship. So yes, so 18 places for you to stick on all around the globe.
Yes. And in Europe, so there are also 3 challenges down from the, I think, 4 from the first season. But certainly less than there were before. The first challenge is going to be in Bologna, October 4th to 5th of this year. The second one's in Ghent, Belgium, March 7 to 8, 2026. And the third one is Dortmund, Germany, June 6 to 7, 2026.
5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Again, there's a typo, so bear in mind 3 days.
Yeah. So challenge 3, once more, is the Infinity constructed. And the thing that's conspicuously absent from this, in the same way Canada was left out of the North American one, the UK was left out of the European schedule, which is a bit of a shame. The UK has obviously all of Europe has a huge Lorcana scene, but the UK has a very, very big scene, and it's a bit of a shame that those players are going to have to travel within Europe, generally a little bit cheaper because they have lots of budget airlines. You can get to Italy for like £100 or something like that, but still not everyone has passports, not everyone's able to travel for the weekend, and all of those things. So it is a shame.
Understand either, like, especially I feel like I understand even less the choice of lacking UK over Canada.
Because at least Canada is like, we're a big country, there's not many people here, it's spread out, but England,
it's
UK,
England, how can you exclude England? It's crazy.
So
but a few things to say here as well. Sorry to cut you. So the tickets are on sale also on July 16th for the first challenge in Europe, which is in Bologna. And that is actually provided by funfinite.gg. So again, we got about everything on the description of this video. And again, then there's a championship. We don't know where it takes place. Maybe it is in the UK. Maybe that one could justify in the UK.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, I hope it's a Disneyland Paris always.
Oh, that'd be fantastic, actually. So yeah, probably that's probably more.
It's gonna be right at the parks,
which is super cool. So again, we don't know the location yet. That is happening on September 11 to the 13th. And for North America, the top 32 per challenge, so in total of 3, will come and be invited to the championship. It's a shame. So likely you won't be able to use the excuse of UK to go visit your mom during the championship over there. Yeah. However, we can visit somewhere else. And this is Brazil. So I want to take on this. So I'm very, very excited. So yes, Brazil is coming in full force. We knew already that Copag, which is the distributor in Brazil, confirmed that they are officially bringing Disney Lorcana TCG to Brazil in July already. And they're releasing the first chapter and Rise of the Fleetborn as part of the introduction.
Is it in English?
So right now it's importing, but it's officially importing. So that's super cool. In English. They have planned, however, to start bringing Portuguese. That has been already confirmed. There's just not a date yet. So bear with us here. And then as part of that as well, so of course, with that big news, it's also telling that for the first time ever, Brazil is receiving its own Disney Lorcana Challenge, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. You might not know, but Brazil has like such a huge competitive community, whether it's esports, trading card games, you name it, they're just very, very competitive. So I think it makes sense, especially with the absolutely massive population they have down in Brazil. This is a place you want to be getting those competitive players engaged. Yeah. So I think it's definitely a great choice of launching 2 big events in that country.
And we don't know the locations of each of the 2 challenges or the championship, but I think they will have to pick Brazil. It's huge, of course, but I think they will have to pick Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, Belo Horizonte, Brasília, one of the main capitals, I would guess. Especially because of, how do you say, I don't want to say the violence, but they want to pick cities that you can feel a little bit safer, even though those are huge cities, right? And I think it's also a good excuse for people coming from out of the country
to be able to
have the chance to do that as well.
So we're not going to get DLC Fortaleza or something?
Maybe, I don't know, but I'm betting São Paulo has to get that, and that's me of the way.
I would imagine so. We have friends who work on Rainbow Six Siege, and they always do their big events in either São Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, just because of those, like, it's huge cities, easy to access, direct flights from Montreal most of the time, unlike Indianapolis. And I'm really excited. So as Matheus said, he has family in Brazil. We'll likely try and attend one of these events, probably the one in São Paulo, right?
Yeah, maybe all. My mom will die when I tell her.
You gotta do it the other way, so you don't block the mic.
My mom will die because I've been dodging going back to visit my family for so long, and now that's the perfect excuse. I might not even tell her that it's because of this, so she'll feel a little bit better. Yeah. But imagine if you're listening to this right now, Ravensburger, talking to the microphone. I'm just trying to remember. I don't want to mispronounce. Or anyone in Brazil. We are Inkborn heroes. We could be the casters if you want. I can cast in Portuguese. I love that to represent Brazil as a caster. Yeah. More on that later, so hopefully something happens. Otherwise, we'll be there and participate. So both things are a big win.
I can't speak Portuguese, but if you need an English caster, I'm happy to. So I don't know if we even said the event. So there's going to be the first challenge, which is Q2 in 2026. So that's April, May, June, and then the second challenge is Q3, which is July, August, September 2026. And then the players from those that do well are going to go through to the championship. They don't say how many. I'm assuming it's probably top 32, like in the North American one, but maybe it'll be more since there are only 2 challenges. And then the player who gets first place in each of those challenges and the person who takes first place at the championship will get invited to Worlds. So it's 3 in total from Brazil.
So only 3 Brazilians or 3 people that participate in Brazil are going there. Now, super quick, just because I have to do that, we have some friends that runs a local game store in São Paulo, Brazil. It's called Pimp My Deck. Again, look at the description of this video for more details, and they are the best Disney Lorcana store out there. They are always bringing products from outside to run the best events, pack rush, draft events, and everything you can name it, with amazing prizes as well. Surprise, because it's hard to get some of those prizes until Copag officially distributes that in Brazil. And this is not a paid promotion. It's just my friends. They are my friends, and I wish them all the best. So if you are in Brazil, go check it out. Pimp My Deck.
And the store's trilingual, I think they said online, right? They speak Spanish, Portuguese, English.
Everything you need, they will speak. So just go there, check it out.
So really exciting. Also, good news for our friends down under. Australia are going to be getting some more challenge events. So there's going to be a challenge qualifier in Auckland, in Auckland, New Zealand. Yes, November 1st to 2nd, 2025. And what that means is not very clear at the moment, but it sounds like players who attend and qualify at the Auckland event automatically get added into the Melbourne event. But what does that mean? Maybe they're going to get buys. Maybe they all automatically go through to top cuts. We're not sure. It's a little bit ambiguous at the moment. But then there is also the Challenge Melbourne, which is going to happen February 21st to 22nd, 2026. I think it's really positive that they're still supporting the Australian market. I know the last DLC that happened in Australia was marred by a lot of controversy. There were a lot of horror stories of people who have attended. Hopefully they've learned from those mistakes and they're able to implement something better this time. But still great that Australia getting that support. And then yes, the first place from the challenge in Australia will qualify for the World Championship. The graphic confused me a little bit because I was like, does this mean that they're going to get their own championship in Australia for that one event? But no, it is just the winner of Melbourne is going to go through.
So
to
it's
the
3
World.
steps, which is a little bit different than the other ones.
For
right?
some
so you're
players,
going from challenge qualifier straight to challenge. So you automatically from the qualifier qualifies. But in the qualifier, you don't go towards. You have to go to the challenge.
But I'm guessing you don't need to go to Auckland qualify in order to attend
right?
Melbourne.
Maybe
I think
just skips a day, as I said.
Yeah,
we don't know. We'll get more details. We'll share with you. You know as much as we do at this stage.
So very confusing messaging. China's also getting more challenge events, 3 challenge events this time around. So there's going to be the first challenge in September this year, the second one in January next year, and then the third one either April or May in 2026. And then they're going to go through to the championship in China, which is going to be in July 2026, which is going to have Grand Prix invites and it's going to be because of the Grand Prix invites because they have a smaller regional setup, and then also the top 16 of each of those challenges, and then a number of those players are going to go through to the Worlds.
Again, a different process, is a different country. We don't know the locations, so all those 3 challenges and the championship hasn't been announced the location yet. More details soon.
And then Japan are also getting some more events, which is awesome. So the first challenge is going to be in Tokyo, January 2026. And then the second challenge is to be confirmed in summer 2026. So it's going to be nice and hot if you want to attend that one in the summer. And then the championship is also going to be in the summer 2026. And again, that's going to be with players who have the Grand Prix invites and then the top 8 per challenge. So every single region kind of doing it a bit differently, which is fun, challenging to keep track of. But
hopefully you're not traveling around the world. Maybe you are, but just stick to the
we wanted to go to Japan next year, but I don't think I will go in summer. It's probably going to be before that second challenge.
Just keep some of those things.
Yeah.
And then obviously the last place that we don't have much information is Southeast Asia as well. So Southeast Asia, they will have 5 invites in total. So we don't have much information about the last one, which is Southeast Asia, but pretty much there are 4 individual challenges as well.
Yeah.
We don't know the dates, we don't know the location as much as the other places. And of course, classifies for the championship as well, and the first place in the championship also gets an invite.
Yeah, so we have this slide on screen now, which is going to hopefully summarize all of those things. So Worlds is going to be taking place probably toward the end of 2026, just based on the schedule. So I think the last confirmed event we have is going to be the summer, like Q3 of 2026. So we can assume that probably Q4, maybe the end of Q3 2026 is when the World Championship is going to be. And it's going to be 38 players. So you can see here there are going to be 11 total invites for North America, 11 total for Europe. So that's the first place per challenge, and then the top 8 at the championship. Asia, there's going to be 4 total invites from China, the first place per challenge and the first place championship. Japan, same thing, first place per challenge, first place championship, 3 invites. And then, as Matteo said, in Southeast Asia, first place per championship, first place per challenge, first place in the championship, which indicates there are going to be 4 challenges in Southeast Asia. Australia is going to be
5 total invites.
With 5 total invites, exactly. Australia first place per challenge with 1 invite total. And then finally Brazil, first place per challenge, and then first place championship for 3 invites total.
Could it be more confusing?
Could it be more confusing? Yeah, but at least I think the positive is all of this has been communicated right at the front. It's not drip fed throughout the season. Yes, there's a lot of ambiguity. We don't know exact dates or exact locations, but we have a full schedule, and it's definitely a lot clearer than season 1.
For sure. Quick disclaimer. you notice that for Japan, I had to edit the image. That's in purpose because the original image had China twice. So bear with me. This is me editing the original file.
There are also some supported events. So these are events run by third-party organizers, but they get support from the Disney Lorcana team in terms of pricing. The main unique pricing you can get from these is the convention playmat. And then in addition to that, there'll be lots of products from Disney Lorcana, which I think is a really cool thing. I'm glad to see that not only are they expanding these, but they're being kind of more forward with announcing them and announcing their collaboration. Because I think for me, attending a DLC is not because I want to necessarily win or, you know, make day 2 or anything like that. It's because I want to hang out with people we know, with friends, like to meet the community, but it's also to get those exclusive prizes, like the promo cards. Like that for me is exciting, and that's why I'm less excited by kind of a third party win 5k kind of a tournament. It's just not as interesting. So it's nice that these events have something unique that you can only get from attending. I wish they had more support. I wish they had more promos, more things like that. But anyway, that's just
and they might, right? Right now, the information we have is what Charlie said. We don't have images of those new closed events, playmats, right? But they are usually super cool. So I wish we can grab hold of that one day.
So we do know the full pricing details of the Firestore games, and it is going to be the top 16 of the events for those that get that 2025 event playmat, which is really cool. The UK event is to be announced, but that's going to happen November 29 to 30. And then, of course, Gen Con, which we knew was happening this year, is July 31 to August 3. Hopefully, we're going to see more of these events expanded, hopefully in markets and areas and locations that aren't currently covered by the current DLC schedule. But I think it's all a step in the right direction, but I almost feel like it's kind of 2 steps forward and 1 step back a little bit. I think cutting back on markets that had the support is really a shame. Like, I know we shouldn't be privileged and expect we're always going to get 6, but all of these events in North America sold out in a matter of seconds. Like, it was so difficult to get Toronto tickets, and now we have less of those, maybe with bigger caps.
But even with bigger caps, I think the reality is when you had it spread by 6 different events, your chances are higher anyway, because you don't guarantee that the same people is there all the time. It's not, having 3, I think there's more pressure and it's going to go very fast.
But I think stay tuned to the Disney Lorcana channels. I believe the team understand the frustration, and they're always in these cases. It's a big corporation. They're working with Disney. Always difficult. We don't know exactly what's happening behind the scenes, but I would stay tuned to all of their channels. Stay tuned to their Twitch and their weekly Lorecast, because I'm sure we're going to be getting more details as we go.
And they're listening. Trust us. Like, they are listening to us, right? We're
not to us, to the community.
That's what I mean. They are listening to the community, right? We've been hearing them listening to us and saying they're acknowledging. So who knows, things can change. It changed for season 1, right? They did add more spaces for the tournaments in the past, so things can change.
We'll see.
Again, nothing of that we're saying it's true, right? It's just assumptions at this stage. Right now, what we have is what we show to you right now, and I hope the information was as clear as water. I wanted to finish this, just remind you one more time. So if you want to participate in the first North America, and can you help me here? Milwaukee, or the first one in Europe, which is in Bologna. Make sure to check it out, the official event organizers, because the tickets are going on sale on July 16th, so that's very, very soon.
And we're going to link them down in the description for you, so it's nice and easy to find.
Exactly.
And that is it for this video. Let us know down in the comments, what do you think of the new DLC schedule? Yes, exciting about all of the different markets getting new support. Maybe a bit bummed that North America and Europe are getting cut back on just a little bit.
And are you coming with us to Brazil? I can show you around. Come join us. Let's play together.
Yes. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like and hit subscribe for all of our future content. Always got plenty coming up, and of course, when Fabled spoiler season starts at the end of July, we'll have all of the details right here on the channel, Inkborn Heroes.
Thank you so much for all of our members as well, YouTube members. We really appreciate you. We're sorry that we've been a little bit slow in the past weeks. A lot is going on, but we're hoping that we can come back in full force. At least this is our plan. And news like this really makes us excited, so we can't wait to tell you more and more. Thank you so much for everything.
So until next time,
happy questing.
Happy questing.